We are strong together, and first up is Arkon.
Hi everyone, my name is Arkon, your class creator, um, creator of Arkon's Archive. I have a little archive, don't worry. It's like the Dark Archive, but it still exists. Officially, not unofficially. Um,
Yep.
I will be playing Weft today, the Poppet Guardian. I got inspired, so I almost went and made the whole character before stream, but I held back and stopped myself. So, uh, well, I have plans.
No plan survives first contact with the GM or the players.
Sounds
Doesn't
about
mean you
right.
shouldn't make plans. Hey everybody, I'm Brian Lane. You might know me from the Inkfinder series on Pathfinder Infinite. I also wrote a trio of adventures under the moniker of Impossible Experiments to take place in the Impossible Lands. We'll be playing through a little bit of that during the actual playtest stream. This is our character building session. And since I will be GMing the playtest, I would still like to build a character, but I'm going to leave it up to chat what I include in my character. Starting with the class, I guess, Helen, am I allowed to create a poll to ask what class I should create?
You should have the permissions if you want to kick it off.
Awesome. I'm going to get right into that, and I believe Micah's up next.
Oh, hello. I am Micah. I tend to be more on the art than the writing side, so you've probably seen all the gods that I've drawn and all the men that I've drawn. Um, Tonight I will be playing I'll be making the commander, and his ancestry will be. So I hope you look forward to that.
I'm not sure I quite caught that there.
Oh yeah, his ancestry and his heritage.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Man,
there.
the pollen in the air is wild.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like my favorite combination in the game. So I figure I might as well just enjoy it, right?
Oh,
Yeah. I won't say it on stream, but you mentioned one requirement, and if you want, I'll help you meet that requirement when we do actually play. So I think I got you covered. But we'll save that for a
Excellent.
mystery for playtime. Um, so I last because I'm on tech, so I always get distracted. So if there's ever a silence, it's because they asked me a question and I'm looking at things like bitrate and I gave you the wrong link. So I am Helen Savore. I'm probably best known for the God's Reigns contingencies right now because every week there was when there was a prophecy that went up, I tried to respond to it with options. And I also like hanging around with this crew, writing really cool things, like together with elements, archetypes, and all the way back over a year ago, we did the Orc Strong together. And tonight, I don't
that's
think,
over a year ago?
yeah,
That
that
was a
was,
year ago.
dude, that was January,
Jeez.
Oh,
February.
wow.
I
Oh my
know.
Because
God.
we had do we have the whole adventure ready in time for TPK Con, or do we just have the first part
We
ready?
had the first part, the
I know.
adventure. Like
Yeah,
I was
because
dying, guys.
yeah,
But yeah, it was very close. I could check out the dates, but I'm afraid I'll switch things around too much. I'll check it while someone else is building. But yeah, it was. I think they were both February releases, February 2023. So
yeah.
yeah, it's been some time. And when I get off my
It occurs to
butt,
me,
I will finish editing Orcs. Team Plus plays Orcs, new Orcs on the block, and you can actually see the whole adventure.
yes, it is
Nice.
fully recorded. We know
Yes.
what the ending is.
I've got what 3 or 4 more hours of video to edit. I think it's not a lot. It's just I want to make sure I do it justice. That's all.
I don't actually know what the ending is because I was busy graduating from college and that kind of stuff, so I'm excited to find out what the ending is myself.
Well, I will eventually get it. You know what? As if we're strong together, member, maybe I can give you guys the raw if you really want to see it sooner. I should really
No,
work on it one of
no,
these
no,
I
days.
I Here's the part that excites me about the way we ended it. It does not spoil the ending for
No.
what is in the book.
Not at all.
Because we totally, my players, my wonderful, beautiful players, totally got us off the rails completely, and I was so excited for it.
I love it. I'm like, because I helped co-write it, and I was like, I'll just be something that doesn't spoil things. I'm like, oh god, this is completely different. Keep my mouth shut. This is a fun way to end it. So yeah, like that last episode is gonna be non-spoiler, but that does mean we have a backup thing in the pocket that we can use for, I don't know, maybe a playtest. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah. One thing I am excited about is we opened up all of our work stuff to try to make notes on what to remaster for it, and we realized we can't do that till after we get Player Core 2 because I mean, obviously we didn't know like where to draw the lines on what stuff to include, but I'm super looking forward to making a pass over that and saying, okay, what can we do to make this thing fully compatible for remaster?
Maybe incorporate a few things we didn't think about from when people played it. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a famous saying about hindsight,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
so always understandable. I mean, I can say that with certain of my classes, all of my classes.
Do you mean the ones you design or your school classes? Because I could see both.
I was wondering that.
But well, both. But here I was talking about the classes I designed.
Okay. I forget what's making me think of college recently, but yeah. I was thinking about class.
Well, I
Talking to
was
me every
talking
day.
about.
On the
I was
internet,
also
yes.
talking about graduating a few minutes ago, so.
No, I was making a really not so good joke about the state of the world, so don't mind me. Yes.
Fair enough.
Oh, looking at the chat. Sorry, I'm gonna enter. Oh, I was too busy talking. I didn't get a chance to vote. Brian is going to be making a commander with the Honed Edge archetype. Okay.
So Honed Edge is an archetype in my Warfare lore product that is a love letter to all of the stances in the Wheel of Time series, and I would love to see these two come together. So now I'm creating a poll for the ancestry, so I'm going down the list of ancestries in my head.
Going through it all? Okay.
Oh
gosh, see, this is what I should have said.
So maybe while I'm doing that, and I'll keep an eye on chat, who wants to show off their build first, or what they're thinking first?
Arkon, let's look at what you got so far.
Me, pick me, teacher.
Yes, sure, yes, Arkon.
Okay. Well, so I'm going with a poppet. I'm going with specifically a stuffed poppet. In order to make sure that if I ever get punted off a cliff, I have a very soft landing. And my background is that I am the former familiar of a wizard with a cursed family, or perhaps a witch with a cursed family. And my goal as a guardian is to go out and find a way to cure this curse for the spellcaster that I used to be a familiar for, but allowed me to go off and become an adventurer in my own right. My name is Weft, which is one of the elements of a canvas, like a painting canvas, which is where the name comes from. So my idea for this character is to kind of use my being a poppet to my greatest advantage. So I was thinking of shiny button eyes after Micah suggested it, but I think I have decided on being a harmless doll, so I can just hide around where my friends are as a harmless doll, and then when combat starts, in the moment, I rush forward and I intercept an attack before combat even has a chance to get off the ground. So that is what I'm planning on for my level 1 ancestry feat. Then from the class feats, I just need to real quickly open that up over here. I was thinking of, since I'm a small creature, I think it would be very funny if I took larger than life, so that when I'm in heavy armor, I count as one size larger. So I'm a medium creature when I need to grapple, disarm, reposition, shove, or trip anything. So that means that me, as a poppet, I believe that means trip, disarm, grapple, reposition, shove large creatures while wearing heavy armor. And I'm between a few second level feats, actually. I think the covering stance, hampering sweeps, and raise haft are all fairly good choices. I wanna kind of hear your all opinion on those. If you want, I can read them off.
Yeah, one more time.
Covering stance. It's a one action stance feat. When I'm in the stance, I choose an adjacent ally, and that ally gains lesser cover until the start of my next turn, unless they are no longer adjacent to me. And if I intercept a strike that would harm that ally while benefiting from lesser cover, they can step as a free action, just as a nice little benefit.
Oh, that's
So
neat.
it's really good for if there's like two melee characters and we're just fighting side by side. It's a bit of a bodyguard type thing. Hampering sweeps is a one action level 2 feat. Until the beginning of my next turn, or until I move, whichever comes first, foes within reach of my weapon or unarmed attack can't use move actions to move outside of the reach of my weapon or unarmed attack. They can still move to other squares within reach of the weapon or unarmed attack. I don't know if that stops step, because that seems like it's very strong if it just outright disables step. Or stepping away from you. And the last thing is raise haft, which makes it so that two-handed weapons I wield get parry, and if they already have parry, the circumstance bonus to AC is +2. It's similar to the swashbuckler. I think gets something fairly similar, not with two-handed weapons, but with certain other weapons.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I wanna hear which of those you all think sounds good.
I don't know, not to be recency biased, but I remember when I was reading through this that raise haft was at least interesting to me. It's like interesting, but it doesn't mean it was necessarily the best choice. But like the visual of it just intrigued me.
I agree. I think that one, I can at least really easily picture that image in my head.
Yeah, I like that partly because I feel like Guardian conceptually is going to be too easy to fall into the like sword and board type of
Yeah.
thing, which, nothing wrong with that necessarily, but being a big two-hander gives you like a cool. It's about the vibes.
It changes the vibes, yeah. I was gonna say it changes the silhouette, but yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely changes the vibes. So I
Are
think I'm
we
gonna
talking?
go with raise half. Go ahead.
It's like, are we talking about other people's third party products? There's a big sword
Oh,
there's a big sword product on Infinite that
oh,
yeah
big swords.
yeah big swords that I had the pleasure of editing, and I think that yes, this would be a must have for anybody that does that. If they end up doing any edits to that, I feel like they're gonna have to mention this. Definitely take Ray's Haft.
And you know what? Since I'm already larger than life, I'm gonna take as my level 2 skill feat. I'm gonna take Titan Wrestler.
Oh yeah, good call.
Yeah.
I love Titan Wrestler.
So I believe so. Interesting thing, Titan Wrestler and Larger Than Life don't actually stack. They kind of are a bit of a they're kind of a bit of a nombo. Hmm.
Larger than life.
Because my thought is that if I took Larger Than Life, I would be medium, and if I took Titan Wrestler, I could basically count as, I basically completely negate the
those
whole
things,
issue of
yeah.
being small.
Mm-hmm.
But these don't actually stack.
I guess they don't. Huh. You are
So I
treated as
guess the
one
question
size
is,
larger.
I'm
Huh.
treated as one size. Oh wait, I'm treated as one size larger, and then Titan Wrestler says I can attempt to. I guess the question
Up
is,
to
does
2
that
sizes
does
larger
that
than you.
wording stack together? Like, does Titan Wrestler see the larger than life size or the actual poppet size?
Creatures up to 2 sizes larger than you, and then you are treated as 2 sizes larger.
I guess
I'm
it
treated as
depends
one
on
size.
is it talking about your offensive athletics actions or your defense, or you having one done to you. The purpose of affecting other creatures with actions like disarm, grapple, etc., etc. So yeah, I think that does stack.
Okay,
You are treated for the
that
purposes
Ooh.
because the wording of larger than life specifies yes, you're treated as larger when you do the actions and when they do the actions to
when they do
you,
the actions to
which
you.
I
Hmm.
I'm betting by this point the number of times Paizo has had to list disarm, grapple, reposition, shove,
Mm-hmm.
strip. I'm betting they wish they had kept the term at
Maneuver.
combat maneuvers. Yeah. Like they actually there's another part in this playtest where they do use the term maneuver, and I'm like, I see that.
Don't
It's gonna sneak
don't
back
Yeah.
all
in.
of these also have don't all of these
Yeah.
also have the attack trait?
That's correct.
I believe so. Let's
Okay.
check.
Uh,
Attack.
I was just
For stream
I was just
purposes, I'm gonna
wondering
click them all.
because makes sense.
I feel like it's the Pepto commercial, you know. The disarm, grapple, reposition, shove, trip, maneuver, man. I don't know. Made sense of that.
And then as a general feat, I think I'm going to take the somewhat boring but always good toughness.
Toughness,
Just
classic.
more HP, always good.
Never go wrong there.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that it was fairly quick, but I kind of had an idea in mind, and I wanted to go through that. Oh, I should probably do my attribute modifiers now, which
Nah,
are going to
they're fine.
be
It just, ineffective. Yeah.
All right, so we've had 3 votes in my ancestry poll for Hobgoblin, Fleshwarp, and Automaton, 1 vote each. I've decided to pick Hobgoblin from among those
Ooh.
because of this steel skin Hobgoblin.
Ooh.
Your flat check to recover from persistent physical damage, including bleed, energy damage, or poison damage, is DC 13 rather than DC 15 or DC 8 when provided particularly effective resistance. And so the whole point is that this commander honed edge can stand there and take a beating and continue staying in the fight, and I think that's going to help super much.
definitely.
Hell yeah.
I like it. Don't get enough. Oh,
I
whoops.
really
Sensitive nose must be. Oh, Micah's starting something. I
Oh,
got a warning.
I was looking at my options. Haha.
Sorry, the Foundry doesn't lie.
It yelled at me because I had already set my level to 3, but I was
Oh,
trying to add an ancestry feat, and then it said, no, you can only do that at level 1, and I'm like, but it's for the level 1 slot.
yep.
Why are you yelling at me? I didn't do it.
Oh, I should use the bigger computer screen for all these lovely
how
character
dare you
sheets.
try to build a character at a higher
I
level
know.
than one at a time.
Right.
You know what? That's a poll. How big of an audience do we have? Okay, that's a conversation piece. So, some of the adventure paths coming out now are not at level 1. What do you think about that? I'm
I,
excited.
I'm excited. I don't want to lose sight of that level 1 people getting into the hobby brand new. They should
Mhm.
still have some level 1 stuff that's maybe not new. Maybe not like the newest thing is always level 1, but it's one of the things that is an option.
Yeah, I think I would honestly like to see more like 5 to 15.
Well, isn't the new one
Um,
starting at 4?
I think so. I know that there's one coming out or just came out that's starting at kind of like an unusual level. But I think like sometimes you don't want to necessarily start at 10 because it's fun, but also it can be really overwhelming because you don't know your character as well necessarily.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
do know for Ruby, we have had to backtrack our history quite a bit.
oh
Um,
yeah,
which when I heard how Curtain Call kind of is gonna work, it's like, man, maybe there needs to be like a history, a module to help you come up with histories fast. Maybe that's an infinite thing. I like this idea. How to
I also
bond
like
with
this
your
idea.
characters. A session, not 0, but like -2. How to tell the story of how you guys came together, for starting at high level. It all started with one drunken bender at the bar. I read that as bear for a sec. I'm sorry, Kana. One drunken bear at the bar. Yeah, that makes sense. I was looking at spells today. This is gravy, and thinking some of them are really cool. But will I ever get to use those 10th tank picture spells as my skeleton bard? Not in the current campaign. Yeah, some of those higher level things. I've certainly seen reviewers like say, yeah, this level thing, but do you ever actually get to 19th level? So how are they balanced? But you also
yeah,
you can't not put them in. I'm not going to be as worried about the 19th level ability.
Yeah, it's one of those odd things. I'm lucky enough that I managed to do a full campaign that ended in November. That was homebrew 1 to 20. And that was
nice.
Wow, congratulations.
that
You win.
that was a yeah, I definitely feel like it. Um especially well, they've started on a sequel campaign, which is always equally as intimidating as any other campaign, but now there's also you want to do right by the previous campaign as well. And it's definitely one of those things where it's it's an endeavor to get from 1 to 20, no matter how you get there. Like, even I feel if you did one session a week, and like every other session you leveled up, I think it would still be a I think it would still feel like a long time, because that's almost a full year if it's once a week, every other week. It's definitely something to keep in mind, and especially even sometimes when you do plan out to have a full campaign, sometimes plans just change. Like,
Yeah,
I played in a
Yep.
Bloodlords campaign that ended at the end of book 3 because all the characters were kind of content where they were.
that's true. Mhm. That's true. It could happen.
Okay, so I've been listening to all this great conversation, but I am now at my attribute boost.
Okay.
And I'm looking back over the playtest document for Commander, and I don't really see all that much where the key attribute of intelligence comes up. Like, obviously, it goes into the class DC, but I haven't seen that show up everywhere. Can somebody
Biggest
talk me out of
Yeah,
thing,
this?
It goes
the
into
biggest thing that it goes into. Go ahead.
their it doesn't have to all those warfare checks.
Warfare lore
Mm,
uses it,
Yep.
yeah, you
so they
get
hmm
to
can
use
use
warfare lore for a
Yep. A
lot
lot of
of
stuff.
different things, like any recall
and
hmm
knowledge about creatures.
And
And then there's feats
also,
that let you use warfare lore instead of another thing.
Okay, I need to
and
look for that too.
and also, their squad mates. The number of squad mates they have
Oh, that's right.
depends on
Oh.
their. It's, I believe, 2+ intelligence modifier.
Mhm.
They're
Okay,
definitely one of the
that's
classes that
interesting.
is most able to go low on their key score. I think that
Yeah,
they could probably, if they wanted to, go fairly easily a 16 with strength int or dex int.
Oh man, it feels
yeah.
weird.
So the archetype that I'm taking requires a +2 in strength or a +2 in dex, and I'm trying to figure out how much I want to siphon away from intelligence, and I think I feel okay siphoning a little bit away.
Yeah, I
But
think commander is
yeah,
the first class where you can genuinely say I'm okay, I'm fully okay not being 18 in my key.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So let me ask you this,
Thanks,
and
everybody.
I will admit I don't agree with this. I've heard people say Magus, you don't have to you don't have to max out your magic because you're just gonna be punching and use magic as your backup.
So Magus is a little bit different because Magus has a key ability score and then a spell DC based
Mhm.
off of a different thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
depending on how you play the Magus, you might never need your spell DC because if you're always spell
Yes.
striking, you're using your strength or dex, your key
Okay, so you
attribute
you you
on
see
the
that
spell
as
strike attack
it's
roll.
secondary. So okay, so it's in my head they're both parallel.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's yeah, gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah. My thing about
Okay,
go ahead.
2 plus int. There we go.
My my thing with the Magus int is that I feel like the number of magi, and I'm saying magi, who
Haha.
don't take expansive spell strike is very small.
Mhm.
hmm
I feel like expansive spell strike is both the obviously good choice and the mathematically good choice.
Mhm.
You know,
It's
it's not
it
like
should just be.
it's not like it's not like the gnome
Yeah.
flick mace thing where you need to really know the system to figure out gnome flick mace was the best option for a while there.
Mhm.
I think it's kind of just obviously the choice that you make, which is why I think that I don't think you need to like worry about keeping it up at max as as high as you can as a magus. I just also think that you generally do want to be using your intelligence modifier for your spell DC more often than not as a magus.
Mhm.
hmm
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, thank you.
That's interesting side effect. I've never heard of a minimal charisma summoner, but that is interesting.
I'm,
That is fair, Autumn.
I am gonna repeat, um, because when I'm looking at playback, I'm like, what are we saying? Because I don't have the chat.
Oh,
Side effect. I've seen a person named Side Effect. I've seen a lot of summoner builds where they have minimal charisma and more so tag team with their Eidolon and melee and use buffs. That'd be another class where they have a low key stat. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
and Autumn Didact says skipping expansive spell strike is great because it lets you dump int, and that is a good point.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna, yeah, if you're not gonna use expensive self strike, you would not need those. You wouldn't need those checks. I guess
Yeah,
that's true.
it's a trade off on in my mind it's a trade off on where you want to be limited, and I guess spells are the less limited thing to choose from. I have a question for all of you. How
Okay.
do you feel about Shocking Grasp in original Pathfinder 2 in the remaster being changed to not a Magus compatible first level spell?
Oh shoot, I haven't used it in so long.
In
Wait,
I
what?
believe it is the spell Thunderstrike.
Hold on. What are these little
Yeah.
spells that I don't use anymore? Oh no, I should ruin.
So
Oh, I ruined what was on screen. Oh shoot. Helen will not look up stuff
how
because she has
about
the screen up. Sorry.
how about I would you like me to read it off?
No, it's okay. Why do I? Oh, I've messed up everything. It's all good. Whose character sheet should I have up at this point? How about that?
Not mine.
Okay. I had Brian's up. Should I have Micah's up at this point?
If you want, I'm not like done, but I'm getting close enough to
That's a
start
lot of
talking about things.
languages.
You can
Oh
show
yeah,
mine if you want.
I took emissary background.
Oh, I see.
That would do it. Okay.
I'm playing a gnoll.
Okay,
Did
we
you
haven't
know that
seen
it is
Micah's.
possible?
I'm gonna get Micah's up because we haven't seen him now that I had accidentally closed
Just,
the sheets to just start looking up spells. I'm like, okay,
did you say Colo? Because I think I heard you say Colo.
Colo.
Colo, yes.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure how to say that word, so
I
I
think
said
it's.
You
first.
know, okay, can I go on a 30-second tangent? I
Okay, I'm
love
timing you.
how there is this funny game of telephone where Paizo writes an adventure that the GM reads, and the GM does their best job to say the names, to pronounce the names, and then the players are sitting there taking notes, and they try to take notes based on what they hear, and they develop their own spelling. So every table has a different combination of pronunciation and spelling for every name.
Yup.
Yep.
So I'm going for a dex commander with a bow. At least when I get to
Ooh,
the buying equipment part of the everything.
Yes.
a
But
bow commander.
yeah, because I was browsing and I was like, what is good commander stuff? Well, there is a feat at second called Guiding Shot. Attempt a strike with the ranged weapon. If the strike hits, the next creature other than you to attack the same target before the start of your next turn gains a +1 circumstance bonus to their roll, or +2 if your strike was a critical. So I could do that, and then the strike hard tactic to immediately tell somebody to hit it after I shoot it, or something,
Nice.
combination like that. Um, so yeah, it seems like Commander is all about getting other people to do your work for you.
Oh, oh, I have thoughts.
Oh, the size is medium, not the armor type. What is the... Okay, category is medium armor. Trying to find a set of...
Okay, I'm gonna read these in order. Um, Although, oh
Yeah.
shoot, I was off for a second. Where did we leave off in the chat before I start reading these in order? There is a comment I saw from Autumn I'd like to read. Did anybody say that yet?
Which one?
About Magus, make the Magus Plus thing.
Oh, no one has read that off yet, no.
Autumn is mentioning that, of course, my Magus Plus class archetype gets to use charisma casting and is focused on mental damage and performance with the clown archetype because it refuses to do streamlined and conventional effective characters. No, 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 no. We don't, nothing. What is this streamline? What is this conventional? This is creative. This is fun. Don't. That's that is that is 3-5 thinking if we're talking about conventional and streamlined. This is 2-0. This is 2 land. This is 2E remastered land now. Okay. But I also have a side effect here with a commander with Overwatch dedication sounds kind of fun if it has some synergy with ranged options. Oh yeah, that'd be really cool. If that doesn't happen, remind me in a year, guys, because I want to do something with Overwatch, and I thought about it for the thing, but was too lazy to do it for that. Not Commander, but something with Overwatch. And that you're right, that would be a great thing. Um, I love it. Good point out. Alan, are you doing a joke here?
How...
So is this oops all commanders? What are you saying that in response to, Alan?
Hey, I'm a guardian.
Yeah, is what's the oops all commanders? Is that joking about? Oh, because we had Oh, is that because we had two commanders tonight so far? Oh, I thought you were talking about commanders all like ordering people around. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, are you saying we're all commanders are all bossy people? Oh, okay.
No, I
I thought you were because I thought that was a different type of joke. I'm sorry. Aha. Okay, never mind. Different joke.
I
Yet we have
think
a
this is the
guardian.
first time. I think this is the first time I've looked at heavy armor at low levels and realized there is not there aren't any options for level 0 heavy armor. And if you want to take level 1 heavy armor, your best bet is splint mail, which is 13 gold.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to beg someone for that or not
You
get
keep
it at level
in
1.
you keep in mind we decided to build at level 3. I can go look up what the
I can grab it.
treasure is. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Um, I wasn't even like worried about
Starting at a
money at
higher
first.
level.
Ah, moving stuff on the
It
screen.
is skills time. All right, Commander gets trained in society and warfare lore and a number of additional skills equal to 2 plus your int. All right.
So Brian, you are working on your skills, but you have your class feats pretty
I
much there.
Yeah, I have other
Okay.
stuff I'm pretty excited to share.
Okay.
Whenever you want to put it on screen, I would like to walk through it.
I have you on screen. I have yours on screen now. If you want to go through this.
Okay, nice. So I am building Alloyne Mandragoblin. Um, Shamelessly stealing from Wheel of Time's Alan Mandragoran. Alloyne here. Jeremy convinced me to go Dex for my higher between strength and Dex because Lan's whole thing is that he flows from one stance to another and is very difficult to hit. He moves a lot faster than he looks like he will. I've made him a hobgoblin because hobgoblins have this like militaristic sort of hierarchy structure, which I think is going to go great with the commander here. I made him a steelskin hobgoblin, so he's harder to kill. I gave him a noble background because he is the last in a high-ranking line of families, and he is sworn to avenge his fallen nation. He's got the commander class. Commander does not have a subclass, so no other decision to make there on class other than commander. I did get him a +3 to intelligence because I do want him to have enough squad mates. And I did make sure he got a little bit to wisdom because perception is going to be important for his archetype. I should also mention we decided, at least for our sort of standard playtest, not to do free archetypes since while that is fun and popular, I think we came to the consensus that we wanted to do as sort of as basic a playtest as possible in that sense. So I am giving up a class feat to take a dedication, but
Ooh.
I'm also not playing. I'm also not playing this
Oh,
character in the
that's true.
primary playtest that
That's
we'll be
true. You're
doing.
just
So
making
I
this.
decided to have a little bit of fun with that. Yeah. If you want to go over to my feats
Okay.
tab, um, all commanders get the commander's banner, which is perfect for Alloyne here since he is carrying the last banner from his fallen kingdom. He gets his tactics, he gets shield block. I'll have to decide whether I want to have him use a shield. I very rarely build around a weapon. I usually think of that after the fact. But I don't build a whole lot of characters because I'm usually GMing.
Oh.
He does get warfare expertise, so I'll want to
Mm-hmm.
start thinking about that. Ancestry feats, I gave him stone face because the books very distinctly describe land as having a face carved from stone. So it's right there in Hobgoblin Ancestry. Um, I decided to give him at first level plant banner. So you plant your banner to inspire your allies to hold the line. Plant your banner in a corner of your square. All allies within a 30-foot burst immediately gain a number of temporary hit points equal to half your intelligence modifier. And so my thinking there is that he is so inspiring. He is just inspiring people to to last longer there on the battlefield. Maybe he has a little bit of latent magic going on with him. Who knows? And then for second level class feat, I took Honed Edge Dedication. This is from my Warfare Lore product. And so basically, it gives you this single action you can use to try to gain some sort of bonus against an enemy. And so basically, you're making a perception check against one of their DCs listed here. And depending on which DC you choose, that determines what type of bonus you gain against them. Skill feats I'm still thinking about. He got courtly graces for being a noble, and I have a skill feat to choose. I need to choose my skill training first to know which skill feats I qualify for. So that is Alloyne there.
Wow, we came
Hobgoblin, hold the line. Hob the line. Yes. Hob the line. Hobble those on the other side.
Oh, and for my my ancestry feat, I took sensitive nose because I'm a sweet breath colo, not gnome or knoll.
Oh, have they upgraded it
so,
to? Oh, they haven't upgraded them to colos yet. One of these days.
One day, so I get to smell nice things and also smell nice. And
Wonderful.
then I took Combat Medic, which gives me battle medicine and lets you use intelligence instead of wisdom for medicine checks, which is pretty rad. And then Guiding Shot, which is if I shoot something, the next creature other than me to attack the thing gets a bonus to attacking it. I took Glad Hand for his skill feat because I figure when you're a Sweet Breath gnome, you really get to make an impression. So I keep saying Sweet Breath gnome, Sweet Breath colo. I don't know why I keep going gnome instead of gnoll even.
Did they?
I mean, now I want a drawing of a Sweet Breath gnome.
Do they have a second? Do they have a second? Do they have a transformation? They turn into a gnome sometimes.
Right.
Like on Saturdays? I don't know.
It's like a sensate gnome, but with good breath. They brush their teeth.
Where did they put the tactics? Tell me what type of creature you are.
On action. It's on the actions.
It's on the actions tab.
Yeah, I had to search it up to find, and then it's like, this is an action. I'm like, oh, okay.
Really? Oh man. Because I like in the other stream, I was saying this is a class that keeps track of stuff. Is it going to be like, a spellcaster or an alchemist or I was trying to think of not just spellcat, or impulses from a kineticist. But if it's on actions, maybe it's more like the kineticist with their impulses. Interesting.
Yeah, it gives me kineticist vibes. This class is like giving me very strong like kineticist crossed with bard.
Oh, with bard. Ah.
To me, it feels very much like a monk wizard hybrid. And that might sound absolutely crazy, but the way that you can kind of prepare tactics similar to a wizard, and a lot of them are movement based, similar to monk. That's where I get that from.
Yeah, they were very clear on the mobility tactics, like mobility and everything else. So I'm hoping we see some more differentiation in the future on tactics, because movement and everything else felt very strange.
Yes.
I see what you're saying.
Especially because
what you say.
No, continue.
No, yeah, I see. Yeah, because monks have like certain categorization stuff, and yeah, against spellcasters because they have lists of stuff, but it's you're just keeping track of stuff.
To me, it's to me it's that even the what are called the offensive offense
Yeah,
tactics.
it's very move into position to hit the thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, you still generally get to step, like pincer attack. It
Hmm.
gives a step, for example. Um, so it seems like the tactics really do want to emphasize positioning and movement and
Hmm.
mobility.
I'm going back to
Well,
my
I
advanced
have
director at some point.
on my tactics
Hmm.
folio, I have defensive retreat, which lets all squad mates that can hear or see me get to immediately step up to 3 times as a free action as long as it's away from at least one hostile creature they are observing. So it's a safe getaway.
Yeah.
Form up. All squad mates affected by my banner can each stride immediately, though they have to end within my banner, which little limiting, but not too bad, I guess. Um,
What is the banner's range again? Is it 30 feet
30,
or
so it's going to be harder to use with a ranged commander, I think, but playtest, we'll see how that goes. Then mountaineering training, I took mostly for vibes. Uh, all squad
Hmm.
mates get a climb speed of 20 feet until the end of my next turn. And then,
Hmm.
and it's not even a banner thing, it's just all squad mates that can see.
Hmm.
And then as long as I have it prepared, I can use warfare lore in place of athletics to climb.
Oh, that's nice.
And then strike hard, I just tell somebody to attack and they do it. Which is what I'm going to be
fair
doing.
enough?
Like, it's 2 actions, guiding shot is one. Like I said, do guiding shot into strike hard on whoever hits the hardest, usually.
I think I have decided what weapon I want.
Oh.
I'm going to be using the weapon, the Lancer, which is
Ooh.
a combination weapon of a
Oh.
lance and a crossbow. I don't know if it's a heavy crossbow, but it's a crossbow.
Oh.
Our gunslinger in Abomination Vaults uses a lancer. He likes it a lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I
Complicated.
feel a bit bad that I'm not using a shield, even though I do have the shield block, but I feel like Intercept Strike is just a more fun reaction to use.
I agree.
Yeah, why not? Oh man, there's so much good stuff.
Just remember, druids get shield block, so don't feel bad if you get it and never use it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, another thing, one thing I do want to say that I find slightly strange is Commander becomes trained in Commander and Guardian both become trained in heavy armor,
Hmm.
but the thing that I find strange is Commander has armored regiment training, where I feel like that is very much a Guardian thing.
What is
Armored
that?
regiment training is a level 1 feat. You treat
Okay.
heavy armor as one bulk lighter,
Oh, oh yeah, you're
and
right.
you can rest normally while wearing armor of any type. In exploration, you and your allies use your normal speeds without including your armor's speed penalties to determine travel. The last part makes sense for Commander, but the first two sentences of that to me seem very Guardian-y.
Well, Guardian can rest normally in medium and heavy armor, can't they?
Do they get that default? Did I just forget that?
Yep, it's in Guardian armor. You get armor
Guardian armor.
specialization of medium and heavy armor, and you can rest normally.
Oh, I only saw the armor specialization. I will then apologize.
Well, then that's
Oh, I
why
should
we learned
probably say
something.
my threat technique is ferocious vengeance.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Um, Enemies that ignore my taunts take 2 additional damage. If they take a hostile action that doesn't include me as a target, and it lasts until the end of my turn. It increases at various levels, to 4 damage at 9th level and 6 damage at 16th. I do have a weakness to fire damage, which is a bit worrying.
I'm sure nobody uses fire. You're good. Very
Oh,
unpopular
No.
element.
erase these alchemist fires from my inventory.
So
It's
as
it's
I'm
only
finished,
gone.
I was gonna say as I'm finishing up the skill selection on my commander, I'm realizing the commander is both a pretty good skill monkey, but also a little bit mad. And so like I'm really happy with my skill selection, but I'm looking at the modifiers like, gosh, at level 3, I don't really stand out at any of these.
Yeah,
But that also has to do with my attribute choices.
I think some of it too is because they've given a lot of options to use warfare lore.
Yeah. You're
So
gonna
you
pump it
can,
True.
probably.
if you want to skill monkey, you
True.
can just dump everything.
And you
I
do
do.
get auto progression in warfare lore, I believe.
And
Which
Hmm.
yeah,
actually I need
that's
to get
Yes.
myself
nice.
expert in that,
I
don't I?
It's really
I was
nice.
Yeah,
I was
because it
about to
will
say
be expert.
Yeah.
I do very much like the use of the pre-existing warfare lore
Yeah.
that auto progresses. It feels very to me. I like that. It just feels like they saw that this was going to be a thing
Yeah.
5 years down the line, and it
Well, and
feels like, man, nice.
I don't know if how well known this is, but there's a couple of skill feats specifically
Yes,
for warfare
Yeah,
lore.
Battle
this
Oh,
was
Planner
yep.
existing.
is
Or
Yeah.
Battle Planner is a
It was
really good feat.
APG, I think.
Mhm.
I
So
will look it up actually.
did they know this was coming, or did they take advantage of something that existed?
I'm
Battle
gonna guess. I mean, it could be either way, but I'm gonna guess they wanted like a proof of concept that you could treat lores just like any other skill, and so they
Mhm.
probably wrote Battle Planner, and then later said, "Hey, warfare lore is a popular choice, and people want a tactician type class.
Mhm.
Let's build this commander class around it." I don't know. That would be my guess.
Oh, auto
Hey,
progression like
fire
Thaumaturge. Oh, I haven't looked at
side
Thaumaturge in a
effect.
while. Who's
Oh, Thaumaturge.
because they're
I've
eso
played a
jeez.
Thaumaturge recently.
So esoteric lore is a
Esoteric.
little
Word.
bit different, I feel like, because
It's
it's tied into the specific action, and it's almost more like the bardic lore in that sense. Whereas
Yes,
this is a lore
but
like you could get warfare
um
lore from a background.
Thaumaturge, it has the level 1 feat diverse lore, I
That's
want to say it's
correct.
called,
Yep.
Hmm.
that turns it into, I've always called it an omni lore, where
Yeah.
it's a single lore that can be used for anything. So that's gossip lore,
oh
lore
Bardic
master
lore.
lore, bardic lore,
mhm.
esoteric lore,
So you take that.
Hmm.
and I believe for specifically the commander, warfare lore can be used on any creature.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah,
Recall
it's
knowledge
pretty
for any
broad.
creature.
It's not quite an
But
omni lore where it can be used on
well,
anything, but
and you only gain information about like their special defenses and things like that. Like you don't recall their history or their flavor text. Like it's literally you're
Yeah.
doing the thing where you say, what is its lowest save?
Yeah, it's
yeah.
just combat. And you don't get that to level 3, I think.
Correct. When you get
So
expert in it.
But let's be real,
it
it's a
works out.
thing that they're asking about 80% of the time.
Yeah, right.
I
See,
mean,
the odd thing is my players, in my experience, my players, I don't know if I haven't told them well enough that this is something that they can
oh,
that is something that they can do, but I see exceedingly few recall knowledge checks unless the
really?
players don't have anything that they can do for their third action.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I have to remind my players also. It has helped that the thaumaturge in my game has the feat that lets him recall knowledge as part of his exploit vulnerability action.
Mm,
Yeah.
Um, but
yeah.
even then, he still forgets, and if I don't remind him, he doesn't always ask a question.
To be fair, Thaumaturge has a lot going on, and
That's
it's
true.
very easy to forget stuff. I've been playing a Thaumaturge for the
Ooh.
past year and a half in Bloodlords, and I have the wand implement, and I just about a month ago remembered, oh, you can overcharge this to increase the damage dice size.
You
Oh
can
yeah.
overcharge the
Oh,
wand.
yeah.
Once every 10 minutes. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It's once per 10 minutes or something like that. And you can still use it afterwards, you just can't overcharge it again.
Mhm.
My general is I almost always take the mirror, I find.
The mirror's cool.
The
Mirror's great.
mirror, I feel, is just so. It is
It.
one of the things I. Sorry.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no worries. One of the things I really like about different implements is how many different ways you can think of the implement. So,
Hmm.
one of the thaumaturges I have in a upcoming game uses a lantern that's just a mason jar full of fireflies,
Love that.
and that's their lantern implement. And
Right.
I like having the ability to really change out what the implement is. And so the implements that are only one thing are the ones I look at the least.
Mm.
And I think that might be why I haven't looked at the wand too much, because I feel like a wand, there's only so many ways you can be a magic wand without being the stereotypical magic wand.
Well, you can be a fire wand, an ice wand, or a lightning wand. Three cool different
But
ways that are totally unique. And
but what if
Oh,
I want to change between the three
you can do that at
you
the
get to do that later. You get to
yep,
add them. So
at
the way
17th level?
you do at
so the
the
way
oh
no,
go
it's
ahead.
a
Oh,
seventh level, I
you
think.
could
I
you
got
could
I
Yeah,
theme a
got
it's
the
wand to
whatever
be
command.
a
your
gun
second
according to side effects.
Yeah.
whatever your
So
second implement upgrade or
the
your yeah.
the the way I play my Thaumaturge's wand is that his exploited vulnerabilities are all these superstitions that he has, and he's very like germophobic, but not like literal germs, like spiritual, fey, hidden germs, like magical stuff
Like
that's just like
miasma?
waiting. Yeah. Like there's all this bad magical stuff that he might stumble upon, and so he uses his wand to manipulate stuff without touching it. It's his little reach stick to avoid having to disturb all the bad magic that's out there.
Fair enough.
Oh, he's like magical Adrian Monk.
I've thought of making
Yeah,
a
exactly,
thaumaturge
exactly.
that has like a fountain pen for a wand, a tome which is like the book of laws that they have, and then I hadn't figured out what the third implement would be. Maybe maybe the Phoenix Wright lawyer badge.
There you go.
Just
Objection.
be a
Yeah, it's
total
always
lawyer.
that.
Yeah.
Do I have the archetype for?
So
Hey
I think yeah, go ahead.
hey GM, can I have Devil's Eye so that I can like be better at legal lore?
What is Devil's Eye? Remind me that. Is that
Devil's Eye,
the
it's a deviant feat that you need
oh
to like best. It's like either need to best or represent a devil in court and win.
Oh wow.
oh so that one's a fourth level feat. We're building at third level, but
I I
if we
was
level up,
joking as the
definitely.
Yeah.
thaumaturge. I
Oh,
was
okay.
joking as
Got
the
it. Got it. Got it.
thaumaturge.
Thaumaturge. Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
sorry.
say
Sorry.
that's totally
Sorry.
level
I was
one.
taking
Yeah,
that
right.
literally.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if we talked about it. How late are we planning to go? We've been streaming for about an hour so
I
far,
like.
and I believe I'm done with my build.
I have a feeling.
Yeah.
You guys feel like you're getting close to done, if not done. I feel like we got
I
three close
believe
characters.
I believe I'm done besides some runes for my weapon.
Yeah, I'm
Runes
pretty
for
much
weapon and some other magic items.
I have to do gear and I always drag my feet with this part cuz
Okay, you can. I don't know if. Have fun doing. I don't think we need to necessarily do the gear all online because yeah, that's tough to figure out. I'll admit, I take forever on that. Um,
yeah, you got to sift through the stuff and
Yeah.
yeah. And they made the fun books, and you want to touch the books and look at the stuff and look at the pictures,
Yep.
even online. So that takes time.
I do want to ask,
Oh,
just after having made a character at third level, what are our thoughts on the the class that the class that we made from a
Oh
more, I
yeah.
guess, infinite
good
design
idea.
type standpoint?
Oh gosh. I made the observation that I'm pleased with how much of a skill monkey the warlord is, because I mean
Commander.
I value out of combat. Excuse me, commander. We'll talk warlord another time. I'm pleased with how much of a skill monkey the commander is. Um, because I value stuff out of combat just as much as I value in combat, and I'm glad that they'll be able to contribute to that, and not just be the battlefield person. I'm really interested to see how the tactics work out at the table. My initial concern was that, oh no, I don't know if there's going to be enough for this class to do on its own. But I'm starting to change my mind a little bit about that, just looking at, some of the feats and things in a little more detail now. So I'm feeling really optimistic about it. I'm looking forward to writing for it whenever it gets done.
Yeah, fair enough. I might write for this one as well. I might write for the commander as well. Um, what about you, Micah? What do you think of the commander from like a more designish standpoint?
Um, I think it's filling a niche that isn't well covered as a class identity. Um, so I like that about it. Um, I think I'm personally probably playing hard mode with it because I chose to go range. So there's always a possibility I will switch that out and go strength instead. But I think that's kind of like my
Okay.
biggest thing is I would like to see maybe two subclasses, one that does get heavy armor and leads from the front, and then one that doesn't get heavy armor but leads from the back and has a bigger banner radius or something. But otherwise, I feel like it makes sense, I guess.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
it's easy. It was easier for me to like be like, okay, this is where it fits into the party, and other classes don't really do this stuff compared to like Guardian, where I'm like, okay, so why would I take a you know Guardian versus these other heavy armor classes?
gotcha. Um, for for me, I've noticed for a bit of time that there there are a lot of support classes. There's Bard. I feel like Investigator is a bit of a support class. Um, a lot of spellcasters can fit in that role, but there's not many purely defensive classes, I feel. And so Guardian, for me, I see Champion as kind of the only, I guess I would call it a pure defensive class. Other classes can choose to go that way. Like, I had an Inventor who really dug
Yeah,
deep into
Ghost
that
Armor.
and was extremely defensive. But this is the first class I've seen besides Champion that is truly all about keeping everyone up and not just out healing the damage, if that makes sense. Which I get, obviously if you want to play a heal spamming cleric, that is an option that you can do and have the same end effect, but I feel like those are very different class fantasies.
Oh yeah.
And I think that the Guardian hits a class fantasy that has been missing of the kind of the selfless hero who goes in and takes the hit for their ally. I haven't looked too deep into the feats. I've only looked a couple levels deep, but so far I do like I do like the Guardian. It's not as unique and not as I guess highly requested as the commander, but I like it.
I'm gonna come at this from a weird angle because these are coming out together. So I was like, "What's the theme?" Oh yeah, fighty. But not just fighty. I'm like, "What?" So what makes these similar? And I think they are both manipulative. Wait, what? These are not like social, like not in that way. So the commander seems again more obvious. They got their people that they're moving around. So that's their allies. You do this. The guardian is telling the enemies, I am taunting you and telling you this is how to interact. But then there's also some of these feats where it's like, I'm going to ram through you and you have to deal with me instead of my allies. And like, I looked at this and this is like, they're like commanding the attention on the battlefield. You must deal with me. And, I'm just looking at this as like putting this type of control into these martial characters was a thing I just did not imagine happening. I never thought of it from that
Yeah.
perspective. And I'm like, this is
I see what
really
you
neat
mean
to
now.
me.
That's kind of like, because when I first heard about Guardian and hadn't looked at the class yet, I was like, why why do we have this? It doesn't seem that different from Champion, but as I looked into it more, I think its difference is that it's more proactive, whereas Champion is more reactive.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't to say, champions can't be proactive. It's just their class identity is built more around protecting others through their reactions
Mm-hmm.
and through defensive, like lay on hands or whatever. Whereas,
Why?
like you said, Guardian has a lot more active control over the battlefield and over enemies. I do hope they change the term taunt though, because
Mhm.
I get
Yeah,
where it's coming from,
it's
because that's
tricky.
what pretty much every game calls it, the
I
same
know.
mechanic. But
Like,
at the same time, the fact that they had to say even mindless creatures are drawn to your taunts, I'm like, just
Well, and also
do
the fact that
something
it's
else.
not the fact
Oh,
that it's not a charisma based class. Like I would
yeah,
think taunting would get tied to
Yes.
some charisma skill.
and I was gonna say, I think they should take a page out of fourth edition, which is pretty clearly something that they've taken already
Yeah.
inspiration from, and just not call it a mark, but make it something more like that, because taunt, when I found out that mindless creatures were not immune to taunt, I was like, that's kind of a bad name
Yes.
for it then.
Mhm.
I
yeah.
mean, just going off of what other games call it. I play Final Fantasy 14.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you really needed to steal something from a game, calling it like Defiance, which is the
Yeah,
big axe big axe wielding classes ability that makes it so that enemies attack them. I feel like that would fit slightly better than calling it taunt.
yeah,
Um,
something like that, or I just something that inherently implies that mindless creatures will still respond to it, because like in a more practical, like, flavor sense, if you start shouting insults at a black pudding, it's not going to care.
yes.
And I've been leery to use. I've wanted to do a mechanic like this before, and taunt sounded too rude. And it's like, what? You write things about killing people in combat. I'm like, yeah, but the connotation isn't exactly what I'm trying to get across. It sounds so weird. But
There's
it's like I feel like we
there's
can
a
do
difference
better.
between writing about killing someone and then writing about being braggadocious while doing it. I feel.
Oh, braggadocious. Wow, that's a good one. Yeah, because like
One is a
I
rogue, the
type
other's a
taunt
swashbuckler.
into the thesaurus, and all these things that come back are just not good. Like it's like taunt's the least worst. If you think about it, but
Well, one of and this is just something that I was thinking of. One of the things that I think doesn't work for the full class, but could work for
sorry.
something similar to this is if you had a class called the Duelist and you had the thing was called throw the gauntlet to basically show you and whatever you're targeting are now in a duel.
Mhm.
I think that might work. That still doesn't really affect mindless, I don't think. I think it needs to be something. It could be something like obstruct. Like you're literally obstructing the path of the enemy to anyone else.
This is gonna take some time. I think we need some work
It's
on
gonna take
this.
some brainstorming, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the classes are good. I think that probably just some wording, making sure that like larger in life and Titan Wrestler, which I feel
Mhm.
someone wants one, they probably also want the other once they see those two together.
Yeah.
Those I might say, hey, just make sure that these look like they go to make sense when someone takes both of them.
So I just came up with a
But
terrible idea. I know for playtesting things called the commander and the guardian, you do a lot of social encounters, right?
mm-hmm.
So I think one of our characters needs to kind of be like teasing out. Taunt really doesn't sound like the best thing, and do play this out in character, try to figure out what a better word. Yeah, no, I don't think we'll be doing that through playtest. But wouldn't that be really
I mean,
funny? It's like actually have the characters try to figure this out.
here's an idea. Call it Battlecry.
There's already something
Name it
called
after.
Battlecry. It's like we'll have to rename it. And I'm fine with that. It's like just rename the other Battlecry.
Hmm.
I'm
Battlecry,
fine.
but one word instead of two words, or two words instead of one word.
You're right.
Ooh, Battlecry with a K.
Hmm.
Battlecry.
Battlecry with three T's.
And an I
And
instead of a
Oh god.
Y.
Okay, folks.
you have to shout it battle cry like the Mortal Kombat theme song.
Battlecry.
Yes. Now we're on to something. Paizo, hire us. We know what
Okay,
we're doing.
Okay,
call it Mortal
whoa.
Kombat, but instead of a K, there's an X. Then no one will get
This,
it.
there's really no English word for draw aggro in English. If there's one in another language, let me know. I only know English because I am ignorant. Yeah, if we need to go to another language for draw aggro, I'm fine. I think this is fun, but I feel like if we've gotten to this term and we've run over an hour, maybe we pick up trying to figure out this
Yeah.
one thing, which I love it, but I feel like we should maybe get close to wrapping for the night. You got 3 characters, 2 of these are even going to be played, so we did 2. We got a commander and we got a guardian. And you're like, wait, that's not a party. Well, we decided to split this up into 2 streams, so we weren't here all night. So actually, on Wednesday, we're gonna do another stream, and we're gonna have also John, aka the Parlor Poet, and Sasha and myself again, and we're gonna build out the 3 other characters. And given that we did Commander and Guardian, that's where we'll be building out some of our third parties that we felt were kind of similar, so we can compare them. So we'll be seeing the warlord or that warrior,
Yeah.
and then we get one more pick me. I'm getting a sense. I think I might go warlord. I'm not. I have a feeling. I won't speak for the other 2, but I think I'm gonna go warlord, and we'll see who picks what for the other 2, and then we still need to talk amongst each other for when we're gonna play. And Brian's gonna be GMing us through. Did you share what you're gonna GM us through?
I might have teased it. It's going to be Clash with the Crag Whisper. This takes place in the Mana Waste, so it's built off of Impossible Lands.
Oh.
And so Yeah, so this is going to be a lot of fun. I think you get a choice of like what missions you go and do first. So be thinking about what your character's strengths are, and you'll be able to choose those.
Okay.
Hey. So yeah, we have some planning, not just our characters to finish. So I guess I don't know. Thanks for hanging out, folks. I hope this was fun. I think we learned a little bit more than we even realized doing this live. I hope you guys learned some stuff, and we're all having
Yeah.
fun coming up with some stuff
Before,
for the playtest.
before,
Have a good night,
thank you all
everybody.
for
Good night,
thank you all for
everyone.
hosting. Thank you all for watching.
All
Have a
right,
good
good
night,
night,
everyone.
folks.
It does work. Speaking of elements, Gozer's alive.
Yeah, I
Hey,
was
how about
telling the
that?
Hell
guys
yeah.
that I have commands for all, I believe, for 22 of the gods from the first stream we did on here. So have fun pulling. That nope, that's not the bonus one. I'll update those
Maybe
over
one day.
time. You're gonna make
Ah,
me put all of them in. Oh gosh.
I thought it might have been.
Wait,
Capitalization
Wait,
matter.
Erasni's
wait,
not
wait.
work. Erasni's supposed to work. That's not working. Oh, okay. Sorry. That was the one. That
Are
was
you
the
trying to tell
22nd.
us something, Helen?
Erasni's supposed to work. Let me go
Well,
fix
here's the
that.
I'm sure this
question.
is.
Erasni is undead, correct?
That's true.
Oh.
I
So maybe the bot's just confused. Yeah, I was gonna go for Aridin
All
next.
right.
Oh, rip Gorham.
there.
So,
I'll make Erasni alive-ish. How about that?
Animated.
as alive as she was before.
Yeah. She's
Yeah, I
getting
like that
better.
animate.
Yeah, I really am curious to see how she gets better because that's more than just a glow up. I think we're seeing on that cover.
Is that Erasni? I thought that was Pharasma.
Oh, that's
On the
Erasme.
Divine
On the.
Mysteries is that's Erasne. That's Divine Mysteries.
Yeah.
The best
Nice.
Oh, I
kind
didn't
of
even pay
correct. I
attention.
love it. Oh man, Divine
Oh,
Mysteries
wow.
is freaked out. Yeah, I just that cover. There's so much in that cover to freak out about. So much to read into it and then not read into it when God's Reign was done. But there's still so much fun out of that.